Howdy folks, I'm Brian and here's some Reddit. So I just want to take a second and thank you personally for watching these videos and liking them and commenting, disliking them, all of those things. Those are really the fuel that keeps these videos coming out. So it's really appreciated. So thank you so much. I don't say these kinds of things often enough. Sometimes I mention them at the end of the videos, but I just wanted to let people know that I really do appreciate your views. I really do appreciate the time you take out of your day to come and watch these videos. So thanks. I really appreciate it. All right, on to the stories. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Getting the Police Involved When My Roommate Took My Cat? I'm a 22-year-old female, and I lost my remaining adoptive parent last year. Dad was my only family. His brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles wanted nothing to do with me. They never saw me as family, and after my dad's death, they cut me out completely. And they took everything that belonged to my dad, and I was able to keep some things to remember him with. It's hard not having him here, especially during the holidays. I got no family, no grandparents, no one to wish me a Merry Christmas or surprise me with a gift. All I have is Tommy, my cat. He is adorable, and he makes me happy whenever I'm upset or crying. I'm currently living with my roommate. We both pay rent equally. I should mention that Tommy and I were here before her. She knew about Tommy and didn't mind moving in a month ago. But she started complaining about him and made him feel uncomfortable with her treatment. She'd tell me to find a new home for him instead of having him live in the apartment. And she tried to find him a new owner multiple times before, and I told her to stop. Tommy isn't hers. She posted a photo of him on Facebook saying that she was looking for a home for him. I found out the day before Christmas. She took Tommy and left the apartment. I wasn't there when it happened, and I freaked out and started calling her number and telling her to come back with Tommy or I'll call the police. Her sister got involved and told me that what she did was wrong, but calling the cops over this was too much. I yelled at them both and told them to bring back Tommy. I ended up calling the police on her. I got Tommy back, and my roommate got in an argument with the landlord because the police were involved. She, her sister, and a few mutual friends were calling me names, saying it was awful for me to go to the police and causing this issue. Completely forgetting that she tried to give Tommy to a new owner and not let me end the holiday with him. They're telling me that I overreacted and I handled it poorly. So I'm going to say that you're not the jerk here. I think this is such a sad situation. My heart really goes out to you, especially with the fact that you don't have any family. So I do hope that people on this thread are wishing you a happy Christmas, happy holidays, and I'm sorry that these times are hard on you. So Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I'm glad that you got Tommy back, and it seemed like this was what was needed to get your cat back. What your roommate did was completely inappropriate and out of line, and I just don't know what was going through her head here. They made a very poor decision. You told them not to do this, and they tried to steal your pet and to give it away to someone else. So I can understand your frustration, especially since Tommy feels like your only family that's left right now. I can't imagine the pain and anguish that you would be going through to know that your one companion would be going away in this world, or maybe potentially being taken from you. So I can understand your reaction here. I wouldn't normally advise the police getting involved in a situation, but I think in this situation, the way your roommate was acting, I don't know that that was overboard. Not the jerk, she stole your cat. What kind of person does that? Not the jerk, either you or your roommate needs to move out ASAP. Given what she did and her subsequent reaction, she is absolutely going to try this again. In the meantime, if Tommy isn't microchipped, he needs to be. I do not usually advocate for this, but Tommy needs to stay in your room with a lock on the door that only you can unlock until you are no longer living with this person. Short-term unfair treatment to the cat is worth it until you know you can keep him safe and with you, because your roommate is going to try this again and again until she either succeeds or one of you moves out. Yeah, I actually think that's a really great point here. This probably isn't going to be the end of it. Your roommate has the gall and the audacity to try this once. They're going to try it again. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Buying My Daughter a House? This one is pretty straightforward. My oldest daughter got married a few months ago. For years, she'd been planning a huge royal ball-style wedding that I always had planned on paying for. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, she and her girlfriend, now wife, canceled everything, and we went with a small courthouse wedding. So since she didn't have a wedding to pay for, I decided to buy the girls a house for a Christmas present. Christmas morning, I gave them the keys and took them over to the new house to show it to them. They loved it. 2 hours later, my phone starts ringing off the hook from my daughter-in-law's parents, yelling at me because I bought their daughter a house. They said it wasn't fair because they couldn't afford to buy them such an expensive gift. I told them that no one was expecting them to, and the only reason why I did it was that I didn't have to pay for the wedding. They then demanded that I take the house back from the girls and give it to them as a gift, and then tell the girls that they have to stay in the apartment that they're currently renting. At that point, I just hung up on them and ignored their calls. Now I've got some friends and family members telling me that the gift was too much and that I should take it back to keep the peace. I think they're all insane. So am I the jerk or what? No, OP, I don't think that you're the jerk here. I think that this is completely unreasonable. I'm happy that you had the means to buy your daughter and her wife a new house. That's a really special gift. I'm glad that they loved it. It's a little risky sometimes buying people houses because, I think people have an expectation, but who's going to look a gift house in the mouth? I don't know. I know, it was a terrible pun. So, yeah, no, I don't think that you're the jerk here. I think what you did was really kind. I think that other parents, they're being green with envy, and I think that they're afraid that you're going to buy their affection or something like that, which I don't think they have to worry about. It doesn't sound like you're trying to, buy their affections or anything like that. It sounds like you just want to do them a really nice thing, and since the big wedding would have cost a ton of money, you decided to do this instead. So I don't think this was terribly unreasonable, especially if it's close to what you would have spent anyways. Also, if it's well within your budget and you're able to, why not? Not the jerk, these people sound crazy. It's sad that they can't just be happy for their daughter in receiving such an unexpected head start in life. A house will be absolutely life-changing for them. The only way you could have been the jerk here was if your daughter and her wife were upset that you didn't consult them before making such a huge financial decision for them, property tax, location, etc. But they don't seem to be. I could understand the in-laws feeling self-conscious, but they're clearly not torn up about it if they're asking for the house themselves. Yeah, I think they kind of show their true colors here when they don't seem to have a problem asking for the house themselves and only care that their daughter and her wife got the house. All right, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Being Upset at My Sister for Getting My College Fund Money? Hi, I'm a 17-year-old female, and my sister, a 21-year-old female, was always a rebellious child, but never got into trouble. Our grandfather left us both college funds in his inheritance. The only catch was to actually go to college. My sister was a party animal, and she got pregnant at 18. My parents took care of everything. She still lives with us, and no father in picture. I wanted to start looking for colleges now to be prepared, but it turns out I have no money left. I'm literally sobbing while I write this since my parents took the entire money and gave it to my sister. I raised the issue on Christmas, and now I'm being blamed for ruining Christmas and not loving my niece or my sister. I told them yes, I really hate each and every one of them. I feel like a jerk for that. My parents have offered $10,000 in exchange to calm me down, but the amount was literally $80,000. They are now telling me that I'm greedy. Please, Reddit, help me. Am I really the jerk here? Should I take what they're offering me right now? Because according to them, that's what they have. Well, OP, I'm going to say that you're not the jerk, other than a small jerk for telling them that you hate them. Although, I can't blame your temper for running high when you were basically told that you didn't get $80,000 worth of college assistance. Your parents are taking money that was gifted to you and spending it on your sister. And I'm curious about it doesn't sound like your grandfather left it in trust. So there probably is going to be some messy legal bits about this, but I would definitely consider contacting a lawyer and figuring out what exactly was in the will and exactly what you were entitled to and how to go about this. It's really sad and completely out of line for them to have spent your college money. And again, I don't know why they would have done this. I'm assuming that if they left you girls $80,000 each, in college fund, they had to have given your parents something too. So what happened to all this money? How did they spend it in such a short period of time? So again, I think this is a really sad situation, especially for you. This would have given you a huge head start in life, made it so that you weren't going to be burdened financially with college debt. And this is what your grandfather's wishes were. So for your parents and your sister to spend all this money, I think is completely out of line. So yeah, I feel really bad for you here, and I don't think that you're a jerk for being upset, though telling them that you hate them I think was in poor taste. Not the jerk, if your grandfather left it to you in a will or any other legal document, you may have grounds to sue for the money. Alright folks, our last letter is titled, Am I the jerk for asking my live-in maid to make herself unavailable while my parents visit me? I purchased a small 2-bedroom house near my work to cut down on commute time. Since I work 6 days a week, I barely have enough time to clean my own house and do laundry. I thought about moving back to my parents many times, but the commute just didn't let me. That being said, I seriously started searching for a maid who would clean my house and do laundry 3 days a week. I eventually found one who was charging very less, so I hired her. She apparently needed a place to stay because she couldn't afford to pay rent, and because of that, she was moving from one place to another, living couch-free with her friends. I understood her situation and let her stay in my house for free because I would spend most of my time at work anyways. She would clean the house every day, do laundry, and cook whenever I ate at home. Everything was going well except when my parents came to visit me. I asked her to crash at a friend's place or anywhere else because my parents would visit me and I don't want them to get the wrong idea. She understood my situation and accepted my request. Last weekend, I was out with my friends and my sister dropped by my house uninvited. She called me home immediately. I knew that she was going to chew my brain out about this. I thoroughly explained to her about everything and she asked me whether our parents knew about this setup. So I told her about our arrangement and she got mad. My sister told me that I'm a jerk for kicking her out on the streets whenever I want. But my maid had no problem whatsoever with our arrangement, so I don't see what's wrong with that. So here's the problem. You basically offered her a place to live, and now it's kind of conditional. I mean, seems like this isn't really a home for her at that point in time. It's her place to live, but only when it isn't, and that's a really uncomfortable situation. I think that you need to be less worried about what your parents think, and just tell them that you have a live-in maid who works and cleans your house. You can afford this, and you're paying her with rent and you're paying her with some kind of salary, I'm assuming. I think it's a gross abuse of power to kick her out. If she's living there, she needs to be living there. Otherwise, this is just not a secure living situation for her. One of the fundamental things about living in a place is to know that you can come home to it whenever you need to and, just crash and relax. And the lines are a little blurred here because she is a maid and so her work is her home. But overall, I think that you need to be more understanding towards her. I think that you need to be a little more compassionate and understand things from her perspective. She can't argue with you about whether or not she leaves the house or not. The reason why she can't argue with you is because, 1, you're her landlord, and 2, you pay her salary. She has no ability of recourse here. All she can do is follow your whim, and you have to understand the disbalance in the power dynamic here. I don't think that you did this maliciously, but I do think you need to understand that there is a power imbalance here, and that she doesn't have the option to just say, oh, I'm going to find another place, because you're controlling her salary, you're controlling her place to live. So do keep that in mind. So This is not a situation that she has any control over other than to find a new job or a new place to live. You're the jerk. Your sister is right. You say that she understood the situation, but if you think of it from her point of view, if she denied your request, then she would be risking facing homelessness again. Yeah, and out of a job, which OP has a lower wage than most. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this isn't a situation that she's going to be able to easily crawl out of. 99% of the time, if you see an employee agree and be okay with an extra duty, almost always uncompensated, it's because they know that disagreeing would likely get them fired, not because they're actually okay with the added and often unpaid inconvenience. You're the jerk. Your image in front of your family isn't above the poor maid having a stable home in exchange for the work she does. You've hired someone to help you. You're not a criminal to be ashamed of the wrong idea. Yeah, exactly. I think this really hammers it home really well. You're not doing anything wrong here, and I really think that your parents are going to understand. And if they don't, then too bad on them. Then they just need to go and find something else to do with their time other than talk about you badly behind your back. Don't be concerned about what the haters have to say. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a thumbs up. If you didn't, consider giving me a thumbs down. Also, consider telling me why in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the views. I really appreciate all the comments. You guys are so great. You guys are so awesome. Yeah, I guess that's all I can say. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. My nose is so itchy. Probably from spicy food.